Hey everyone, Warwick's here. So apologies for my voice, a little bit of scratchiness in my voice today. When I'm recording, this is being done on Saturday, July 2nd. It's also early. I woke up not too long ago, so apologies in advance for that. So we're back today. We're starting off Misty Mountains Month, as I'm going to go look through 5 different covers of Misty Mountains. Today we're going to start with the Wellerman's version of Misty Mountains, one that I've heard many, many times, probably one of my favorite versions of the songs that are out there. And so we're going to look at that today. Now, I'm not starting on the video itself. I'm actually down into the description of the video because I want to give shout outs to the many, many people that are in this video. Of course, David Larson, David Kahn, Jonathan Young, Colin McGinnis, Lucas Arnold, Peter Barber, Tommy P, Marwan Amen, FS, The Bearded Bard, Bobby Bass, Jojo Otsedu, Andre Segura, Brad Bonnell, Kaylin Wilson, David Garvey, Noah Canales, Luke Taylor, Sam Pope, and Johnny Stewart. Shout outs to all of you guys for putting in the work here. Of course, you can see the guys from the Wellerman, Bobby, of course, also included in this. So basically, they took what's the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 young singers. A lot of them can do some pretty strong bass stuff and came together under Bobby's arrangement for the Misty Mountains. Now, before we get into the video, the same disclaimer for those of you that have been around, you've heard this, so you can probably skip forward a little bit. For those of you new to my channel or new to my reaction videos, quick background on me. I am not a professional by any sort of means. I consider myself an intermediate level musician. I was a high school band nerd. I was in drumline, so I didn't really do, I banged sticks on a drum for 4 years. But you learn things over time when you're talking about music theory, music composition. I've really gotten into those side of things. I've gotten much better at recognizing harmonies, recognizing musical movements, the things that I'm not good at, but I'm wanting to learn. First off, for identifying notes. There are some things that I'm starting to pick up and learn, but still want to learn as much note recognition as I can. And then technique. I'm not very good at bass technique. I know like the sound of like subs versus chest fry, but I couldn't tell you even begin how to describe any and all of those techniques. So don't expect like a mega technical breakdown. If you're looking for those, I definitely will recommend plenty of other curators. The Charismatic Voice, Mortius, Peter Barber has done videos of these with a lot of technical breakdowns, so I'll recommend a lot of those creators if you're looking for more professional level insight into those. Whereas for me, this is just a dude that really loves music, has really fallen in love with acapella, just talking about the things that he finds cool in these videos. So without further ado, we're going to get started with the Wellerman's version of Misty Mountains, arranged by Bobby Waters, featuring a ton of people. Not all of them. I don't know faces and names for all of them, but the ones that I do, I'll try to point out throughout the video. Because I've seen this video plenty of times, I'm not going to be just watching it through the whole way the first time. I will be stopping and pausing as I identify things that are neat. So if you're not a fan of that, apologies. All right, so right here in the beginning, before we get into the first official line, they keep it really simple, just like the original song does from The Hobbit, with just the sounds across the board. Some really nice harmonies. You got some really low there, and that's kind of underlying the back, but for the most part, you hear kind of that middle to upper range. It's kind of the most forward, which is the way it was in the original song as well. So the beginning is very much an ode to the original in a way that I think is very cool. It also allows the rest of the song to build in a way that is going to be very, very interesting if you continue to listen, with a lot of stuff going on into it. But by keeping this simple, you're giving it a good starting point that also allows the song to grow and become more and more interesting as you go. You're not getting slammed in the face with like the most amazing things, 23 seconds into the video. you're getting that, you're going to get that much later into the song. But this is a good way for you to establish as a listener. It establishes like, all right, this is the bass line of what we're working with. And you're hearing a lot of deep bass in this. If you're listening on good headphones, you hear it really well. So for me as a listener, the first time I heard this, I was already like, ooh, getting ready, let's go. So I really like the way that they started this. So let's get into Bobby's first line. We'll probably go through a decent portion of the first few lines, and then we'll stop and pause again.
Far over the misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old, we must away at break of day to find our long forgotten gold.
All right. So at the start, we had Bobby Waters, Luke Taylor, who did show up on American Idol, for those of you that watch those types of things. And apologies to the gorgeous ginger bearded man here. I do not know your name. Tell me in the comments. I think I know who it is, but all three of them have very distinct sounds, which I think is very, very cool. So you come back here to Bobby at the start here. And Bobby has this very like breathy bass to usually start off with, and I think he does this more on purpose in this arrangement because again he's trying to establish something for the rest of everyone else to come forward and grow off of. Bobby can definitely get that power out of his voice that you hear from Luke Taylor, who is the second voice that you hear here, but you get like just three really cool distinct sounds here. So we're going to listen to it again and really pay attention to the vocal timbre of each individual singer here. Also, we get a mini Bass Gang reunion, as it just finished Bass Gang Month. Peter Barber on the right, who I think said in this video, for the most part, he was just actually standing there. He recorded like a 10-second clip of him just standing there before he like got into like his first part singing. And whoever edited this video for the Wellerman just took that and used it at the start, which is kind of funny. But at the same time, like, it's not a big deal because they're just doing mms, which, you know, the way his face looked at in the beginning, you know, it makes very sense that he could be doing an sound by just the way he was standing there naturally, like almost getting ready to perform. Anyways, let's listen to the vocal timbre of Bobby and Co. here, of the three guys at the start, because, and then we're going to talk about that chord.
The misty mountains cold.
All right, I'm going to pause after each one, sorry. So you can kind of tell with Bobby here that you get this really kind of like almost ethereal bass quality to it, where it sounds almost weirdly angelic in a way that kind of is very soothing in its own way. You recognize that there's, you know, quality to it, but you're not getting like that driving power that you would expect maybe from most bass singers. I really like this vocal quality out of Bobby because it always allows for things to build off and around him when he's doing his own arrangements, or he's, you know, did stuff with Bass Gang or whatever the case may be. But it also has its own really fun quality to listen to, like if he does like longer stretches of time where he does this, you know, for different songs and things like that. It adds this really nice like quality to where if there was like reverb added in post-production or something, he would sound like the deepest singing angel on the face of the earth.
To dungeons deep and caverns old.
So Luke Taylor here, you can tell really pushes that power. Like you can tell his choice that he made here in the very beginning was to really kind of show off the strength of his voice, whereas Bobby kind of went that breathy, ethereal quality. Luke is hitting you in the face with his voice in a good way, you know, in a way that really perks your ears up and you just appreciate his overall vocal quality. I mean, and he's young. I think when he was on American Idol, he said he was only 20, so he's probably 20, closer to 21 now. I don't know when that season was up. I don't watch American Idol. I just heard about it. So 20, 21 years old, still very young, still a lot of growth and development that he can do with his voice. And this right here already shows just like his baseline is already at a very high level, which is just very, very cool and offers a really nice contrast against Bobby. And then we get into the third singer, who I think finds that really nice middle ground.
We must away at break of day.
So what I really like about what he did here is that, you know, the "we must away" part had like that very powerful push almost out of his voice. It came across as very strong. But then as he goes into "at break of day" and as he kind of falls back into a little bit of breathiness. So he kind of took what Bobby and Luke did and combined it all in one line, which is just a really cool touch that I only noticed very recently when I was kind of listening to this with my son, who loves listening to this song as well with me. So just very, very cool stuff already in the beginning, and we've heard 3 lines. You know, and so like if this is already what we're getting in the first 51 seconds of the video that I've been recording for 11 minutes, we get it. Now let's talk about that deep chord here.
To find our long forgotten gold.
I imagine that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 14 different parts. It could be more. It could be up to 18. Just insane. And it sounds so good. Kudos, guys. All 20 of you, kudos.
The pines were roaring on the high. The winds were moaning in the night.
I'm going to back up just a few seconds before we get to bass singing Jesus. So a couple of these guys I know, Colin McGinnis here on the right, of course, you can tell with that very wide sound, that kind of deep, like tongue, very much almost down his throat bass that he can do. Not something I don't think he does all the time, but when he busts it out, it always sounds very distinct. Here on the far left, I think this is FS. I love your hair, man. And then we have Benedict Cumberbatch. Just kidding. I don't know your real name, but we're going with it. Now let's get into bass Jesus, Jonathan Young.
In the night, the fire was red, its flaming spread, the trees like torches, blazed with light.
All right, so Jonathan Young, who we've already seen in the Bass Gangs cover of Centuries, at least if you're watching the videos in the order that I released them, coming in with the nice white shirt, the long hair, the beard. We said Bass Jesus. Does really interesting thing in the front side, which is add vibrato to his voice. Instead of "the fire was red, it's red," like he adds that vibrato into his voice that I can't do very well, which again adds a unique flavor to this song because he's the only one that's done it. And you hear it again with "the trees like torches," and then of course he gets to do it with Bobby, which, you know, I want more of these two singing together in my life because I think they complement each other very well stylistically. But it just adds again that a level of, again, just another layer that's being added. So you get the breathy bass, the power bass, the nice mixture that was done, and then you get, you know, in the next lines you're getting like this 14-part harmony, and then you get Column's unique vocal timbre. You're getting, you know, now you're getting Jonathan Young's vibrato that he's adding in, and then in the background you hear "I See Fire," which I think is done right through here. Let me go back right here. So listen in the background, not so much to Jonathan, as hard as it is not to listen to Jonathan because he's amazing. Hi, Marwan. But listen to the background where you see "I see fire," which adds a nice another layer, as we're talking about all these layers that this song does. This is a nice little touch in the background that keeps the song interesting in a way that doesn't happen in the original.
The The trees like torches.
I see
Blaze with light.
right there.
The wind was on.
Shout outs to the bearded bard who's right here next to Colin, going full dwarf with it. Luke Taylor, Lucas Arnold, all these guys, very, very talented. Lucas Arnold, multi-talented, good singer, does good stand-up as well, has his pretty funny comedy routine, so go check out his channel. But again, a nice little solo for Colin and his unique sound here right at the start. And then we're going to get one of my favorite voices in the entire one, which is Jojo Otsedu.
But in the forest stirred no leaf.
Oh, God, his voice gives me goosebumps. It is so good. Jojo, you have to put stuff up on YouTube, dude. Like, you have your account. I've seen you comment on people's things. The dude's put up 0 videos and already has like close to 100 subscribers. He's never done anything on YouTube. Jojo, put some stuff on YouTube, man. You would blow up very quickly. Your voice is so smooth. I love it so much. I also like the little thing at the end here. We're going to go back just a few more seconds. Stare no wheels. Or stare no wheels. I don't remember the exact words off the top of my head. A lot of high level harmonies being done in the background. So listen for that here. And then we're going to get into, I think, one of the more surprising sections with a lot of high vocal quality being done in the next section.
But in the forest stirred no leaf. Their shadows lay, be night or day, and dark things silence crept beneath.
So Tommy and Peter doing a lot of the high work on there. I'm sure David Larson and a few others are also doing some high notes in there. One thing about this video as a whole, and then again, I don't know if there was any sort of specific instructions given to a lot of the singers. You could tell which guys are just singers and which guys are performers. Not that that's a bad thing. There's not a difference. It's a matter of preference. Like, I prefer guys that are much more in the performer side. So Marwin, Peter, Tommy, you could see they're giving a lot of, body movement. They're giving vocal, facial expressions to try and match what they're doing. And then you have these other 3 guys who are just doing singing, which all 3 sound fantastic, and they are all people that you should go look up if you're interested. But they're mostly like, there's a little bit of a smirk right here from this gentleman, but you can tell like there's just more of that thing. And I don't know if this was left up to the individual to do so, or if this is just kind of a natural style, or whatever the case may be, or if there was instructions to do so. Like, I know at the beginning of like Emperor's New Clothes, which we'll probably be doing around Halloween, Marwan specifically asked the group to do something very specific in the beginning of the video, which, wait a few months, we'll get there. But like, I don't know if this was meant to be, like, for the most part, a static look, kind of, because like this song in reality is not a happy song. If you really pay attention to the words, and if you understand the world of Middle Earth, which as a giant freaking nerd I do, this song is actually not a happy song. It's not like, it's actually, for the dwarves, it's used as a reminder of what was and what they've been striving to get back. Particularly in the Hobbit, they're trying to get back to, Thorin's kingdom, get back to the riches that they once had before they were forced out and outcast by Smaug. Spoilers. So I don't know if this was on an individual decision where some just kind of kept that more stoic look, wherein others chose to kind of put their natural tendency to perform in there. Like I said, neither is bad. I think it's just really interesting to watch the contrast go on in the video. So from a visual perspective, it's really interesting to kind of watch the video. Like, I listen to the song a lot without watching the video, but the few times that I've sat down and watched it like I do here, it's just really fun to watch the 2 choices that are being made contrast. going to stop right there. Not that these two who I want to talk about, but I want to go back the section, and I just wanted to show you just a few seconds of what kind of transition happens. So you get this high stuff with their shadows lay, be it night or day. And then like that section ends, and then they do the layering, and then they go into this huge wall of sound where all of them are going across huge multiple different parts. Again, how many notes are in the harmonies, I don't know. But you're seeing stuff just across the board that is just a wall of sound that's hitting you in the face. And then once that section ends, we get the Davids. David Larson here on the right. Sorry what I did to your face with the screen grab. I know this guy's name is David. I don't know his last name, but I love his look with the bandana and his beard. So, and his voice is just so good. I like it. JoJo's is probably my favorite individual voice throughout this entire video, but his is up in that top 3 to 5 of this video for the one line that like the one or two that it really gets featured here. So we're gonna go listen to that. Let's go back actually and listen, so you can kind of see. Also, we get to see Marwin's really big like vocal performances here that he does with his hands. I love that Marwin sings with his hands. It's great. All right, so let's come back. We're gonna go back farther away here. Let's go right here. Wall of sound. And right there, you hear they have just one sound in the back, which I don't know who's doing it, but it sounds, again, pretty, which everything in this song sounds pretty. But like right there at night, the wall of sound ends immediately. There's no carryover except for the one note. And then they get into the Davids.
The winds went on from west to east. Our movement in the forest east.
So the Davids here bring really nice, again, another layer. This thing has like 100 layers at this point. But David Larson actually, from what I understand from Peter, is more of a natural baritone, but has learned to drop his voice for videos like these. Here, he kind of gets to push into his natural baritone on these two lines with Bandana David here. And what happens is that what it does is it creates a really nice harmony that allows you to still appreciate both of their voices, but also draws it back and away from that wall of sound that we just got for the last 20-30 seconds. And then we get the additions of Tommy and Lucas as shown on the video. I'm sure there's other guys in the background. And this line here, the second line, Marwin gets added in a little bit to add another small little layer here. I think he's trying to fall, if my ears catch Marwin's voice right, I think he's trying to fall a little bit in between these two, and then does it very well. Oh no, Marwin is part with a few others that are that background our movement take the forest east sort of thing in the background that's falling in between these two. I'm pointing at my screen like you can see it, these two here, but being far enough in the background that it adds really nice background voices.
In the forest east, but shrill and harsh across the marsh.
Who does the high voice in that? Does anyone know? I know it's not Column. Is it our Benedict Cumberbatch doppelganger friend here? Somebody does it, and it sounds gorgeous, and I don't know who does it. It's not Peter, which is what I thought originally, because Peter's doing background harmonies. But I want to know who's doing it, because I want to give you props. So if you know, please tell me in the comments, and I will like your comment and heart it and pin it.
It's whistling voices were released.
All right, we're getting to the end of the song. I'm at 25 minutes, so I'm probably just gonna let this play, and you're just gonna see me like probably grow some new facial hair throughout this process, because this is the section I think everyone talks about in this video. So we're just gonna let it play, and then I'll talk about it afterward.
Farewell we call to hearth and hall. The wind may blow and rain may fall. We must away ere break of day, far o'er the wood and mountain tall.
Oh, God, that section's so good. And when I'm singing it in my car, I feel like I'm a good bass singer, because like it's really easy to crank this up and make it feel like you're part of the harmony, even for someone that kind of sucks at singing like I do. Uh, so yeah, I don't know what else to say about this bass section other than it is one of, if not the best, pure bass choruses in terms of verse in this verse that I've seen. Now I know Bobby goes really low at the end. I would love to know who out of the 20 singers, what every single note each person is singing, and I would love to just sit down and learn that, and like know, like if I could see the music for it, for example. But like, let's just watch at the very end. Now they put the sub and the video thing that I do in my videos up at the end, so unfortunately it covers a couple people, but like look here in the middle, and you can kind of see just the level of like chill these dudes have about this ridiculously low notes that they're hitting. You see some faces go down, which is, you know, low bass face. Bobby's is the most prominent because I think he's the biggest circle here in the middle. But look around at as many faces as you can and kind of just see like if you can pick out like what notes they're doing based off of their voices and stuff. I can't do it, but I'm challenging you, if you are a lover of that stuff, to see if you can figure it out.
And mountain tall.
So right here, I think he's going really low. Jonathan feels like he's going really low. Bobby's definitely going really low. Marwan's definitely going really low. I imagine Column's going pretty low because that dude has like a ridiculous range. Can't really see the two guys, the other two from the Wellerman, Luke Taylor, things like that. And of course, Lucas Arnold gets covered up as well at the end here. But you can definitely tell some guys, he's pushing himself a little bit. Like a lot of these guys are pushing themselves to go really low. I'm just gonna hear it one more time. Sorry, I'm gonna come back here a little bit.
And mountain tall.
What I love about Bobby in particular is how he likes to resolve his songs at the end from an arrangement standpoint, but I'm talking specifically as a performer. He hits this really low note and then keeps kind of this gentle intensity on his face afterwards because he's still in performer mode, and it's really quite nice. Like everyone else, they kind of just go flat, or like in some cases they're just like, you can tell a couple of them are pretty proud about the low note they just hit. Like this guy here, even though you can only see half his face, you can see his smile. Like you can tell he's pleased with what he just recorded, I imagine. But like Bobby and to a lesser extent Jonathan and our Benedict Cumberbatch doppelganger, who I wish I knew your name. I'm so sorry. I've been calling you this the whole video. I do not mean to offend you, but your look is just so stellar. I love it. Someone tell me his name, please, so I can go find him and like give him all the kudos, because I love his approach to this video as well, with his kind of at an angle type situation, and again keeping an intense facial expression every time we saw him on screen was just very, very cool. So overall, this video, guys, I'm bumping up against 30 minutes. I try to keep these under, but overall, this video just did a fantastic arrangement. Shows off guys that I think you're going to be seeing and hearing from for decades in the bass singing community. Go follow as many of these as you can. And if you like this video from me, like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me at Patreon as well if you're interested in that. It's very, very infant because I'm still learning like good benefits to the patrons that are there. But yeah, that'll be the end of this video, guys. We're gonna be doing let's see, I have a spreadsheet of everything that I've got planned for Misty Mountains. Next week, Jonathan Young did his own version of this as well. So he's in this one, but he did his own version as well. We'll be doing that one next week. So until the next video for reactions, guys, I hope you stay safe, enjoy your music, and I will see you all in the next video.